Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping parents and juniors navigate through the journey of junior golf. From fitness to mental coaching, we cover it all on this podcast. Here's your host, Ro Thompson.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Ro Thompson, and we have a special guest in the building, none other than the fabulous Caroline Hawkins. How you doing, Caroline?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to have you on tonight.
Yes, I'm super excited to be here.
Good. Thanks for agreeing to do the podcast tonight. I've been watching some of your tournaments, and man, you are tearing it up right now. So I said, man, I got to get Caroline on here.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here. Super pumped to have the opportunity to do this.
Yes. I was looking at your resume, and you've had some great top 5 finishes, and you've had several wins. Congratulations on being the 5A state champion.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win at Congaree, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So you've been really putting up some good scores. Now, before we get into all the accolades and everything that you've been doing, talk to us a little bit about, tell us your backstory and how did you get into the game of golf?
Okay, so throughout my life, like when I was 3, 4, my dad would take me out to the golf course, me and my sister. Right. But, I didn't really like golf. I would do cartwheels on the range, and I would just have fun with it and just not really care. And then when I was about 6 years old, my dad took me to a U.S. Women's Open qualifier, and I had a blast there. My sister did not like it at all, actually. But that Christmas, I was like, hey, Dad, can I get a set of golf clubs? And he was like, yeah, of course, honey, not knowing like it would open up all these opportunities and I would like actually like, pick up with golf. He thought I would just like have fun with it or whatever.
Right.
And I didn't really take it serious until I was about 8. So I was kind of just learning the basics when I was 7 years old. And then when I was 9, I started playing tournament golf. And that's when it really took off for me. And since then, I've been playing lots of tournament golf, SCJGA, CGAs, WSCGAs, and a couple of AJGAs.
Right. And yeah, that's good. You've been, like I said, you've been playing some really good golf. And what do you feel like that's really made the difference in your game? Because, you're having a lot of good success. You're a rising sophomore. So you're just finishing your freshman year in school, and you're top 5 in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing to get so good?
So a lot of people think it's like irons and driver and all of that, but I honestly don't even work on that as much as a normal person would.
Okay.
It's really putting and chipping, which is key for me, because if I miss a green, I'm confident enough to say I can get this up and down. And lag putting, I have struggled a little bit with it because I just I changed the pressure of my feet in my golf swing, so I worked on that a lot more. But I'm starting to get it back and get my speed again. But honestly, putting and chipping is a key thing in your golf game, and it's the most important as well. And honestly, your mental game too, because a lot of people get frustrated with golf, but you just have to remind yourself, like during a tournament, golf's not a game of perfect, and people are going to have bad shots too. So you're just going to have fun with it and try your best.
Wow. I mean, listen, you're talking really good. I mean, you're talking about some mental stuff. You're talking about the short game. I mean, I'm getting all kind of love, emojis. I mean, everybody's loving the podcast right now. So, so talk about your routine, because you talked about putting more emphasis on the short game. So give us your short game practice regimen.
So I typically do a gate drill to start off with,
Okay.
which is like 6 tees, gate drill, and I hit 103-footer putts. And then I move back to 6 feet and I hit about 75, 50 putt through that gate, and then I move on to the line drill, which is a string, and I just use some elastic string and 2 knitting picks, and I just stick them in the ground. I use a level to see where if it's like even or not, and I
Right.
hit about 50 golf balls from that, from like 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10 feet. And then I do a lot of work on my lag putting, so I'll do the ladder drill, and
Okay.
then I'll sometimes stick 2 tees. I'll make kind of like a box behind the hole to make sure I
Okay.
get it past the hole first, to give it an opportunity to get it in the hole,
Okay.
and then to make work on my speed, because if it goes past those 2 tees, then I'll have to start all over. And I normally hit about 20, 25 per hole, and then I'll switch it up and move somewhere else. But and I'll do like a couple other putting drills here and there, but those are the main ones that I use in my golf for putting.
That's
And
really good.
then for chipping, I work a lot of from 50 yards in. So I'll go on the course and I'll do 20 yards, 30 yards, 40, 50 yards pitches into the greens, because sometimes I'll have par fives that are shorter.
Right.
And then I'll go in the bunkers on the greens, because the practice green at Columbia, it's pretty flat. So when you go to a course that's not flat and there's undulations in the green, I can work out of the bunkers on the course, and that really helps. And I'll hit about 20, 30 balls in the bunker, and I'll work from different lies and throughout the bunker. And then Puggy Blackman, my coach, taught me this 5-ball drill. So I'll take 5 golf balls, and I'll have to get 4 out of the 5 golf balls inside 3 feet. And
Okay.
I'll pick different spots from around the green, the practice green, or a golf hole. And that's what really has helped me improve my golf game. Not only using like a pitching wedge or what 5660, but using like a hybrid or a 5-iron, and using a bunch of different clubs.
That is awesome. Yeah, we've spent some time with Coach Puggy. We're members over at Cobblestone, so we get a chance to see him, all the time. So yeah, great coach.
Awesome.
Yeah. So listen, so you brought up something as it relates to the mental part of the game. And if you're playing, if you're a golfer, you are going to hit a bad shot,
Of course.
every so often, right?
Yes.
So how do you deal with a bad shot? Mentally, how do you react to that part of your game?
So I know that everybody on the golf course is going to have a bad shot, at least 4 bad shots
Right.
in a round of golf. I mean, golf's not a game of perfect.
Yes.
And I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, I laugh at myself a little bit and be like, Caroline, that was stupid. Like, what's going on?
Right.
But then when I look at that shot, I'm like, okay, how do I get this close to the hole? How do I get this in the hole?
Yeah.
What's my situation? What's my surrounding? And it doesn't really affect me that much. I've always been kind of a happy golfer, and don't really get so upset about golf, because I know like it's not the end of the world and we're all going to make mistakes. So I really try just to stay in the moment and do one shot at a time, which really helps.
That's good. That's good. That's a great, when you hit a bad shot, the first reaction is normally temper tantrum,
Yes.
but you said, I laugh at myself,
Yeah.
and then, you just got to let it go, because you can't take that into your next shot.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Exactly. Because you can control the next shot and your emotions, and you can't control anything else except those 2 things.
Right. Right. And the other thing is too, I heard you mention golf is not a game of perfect.
Yes.
It sounds like to me you're reading some very good books. Is that true?
Yes, by Bob Rotella. I read that book 2
You read that
times.
book? Okay.
It's been a while since I've read them. It's been about 2, 3 years, but my dad made me read a couple of his books.
That's right.
And
Yeah, Pops.
and it talked a lot about like different golfers and their perspective, and it really helped me like open my eyes up and not get so upset, and like see like golf is not a game of perfect. Like that was the main key, and I'm so glad that I read that book.
That's right. Now, what's your favorite book? I mean, is that your favorite one, or do you have another one that you like?
Honestly, that probably would be my favorite, because or it would be the 15th Club. I really like that book.
Okay. Okay.
Because the
Tell me a
15th
little,
Club,
tell the audience a little bit about that book, The 15th Club.
okay, so it's about the mind and how that's like the key component in your golf game.
Wow.
And it talks a lot about there's different like, well, not characters, people within the book, and they talk a lot about their mental side of their game and how if you don't have that 15th club, which is your brain, then there's no point of going out and playing a round of golf. Because if you're gonna get upset and get mad about a shot, then there's no point of playing because you're just gonna make your next shot worse and worse and worse.
Right. Right. That's good. They say that's the majority of golf, that the mindset and the mental
Yes.
part of the game. So it sounds like you're doing a really good job. You're not just practicing your short game and your
No.
driver and your irons, but you're working on the mindset, the mental part of the game.
Yes. And
That's
like
really
for my practice, I have a little orange notebook that I'll keep in my locker, my golf bag, and I write down all my practices. I don't have it with me, but I write down like what I'm gonna do that day, and it helps me keep track and like be more productive. And then as soon as I get done with my practice, I'll reflect on that and I'll write a couple sentences about how everything went. And it just really helps you decompress and like listen, like not listen, but like think about everything and what you're gonna work on next.
there's no mistake why you are a elite junior golfer. I mean, you're doing so many things right. I mean, the mental part, taking notes, the practicing, the drilling. I mean, you're going to go far in this game. I see it already. You're going to do very well. So you've had some very good results in some of these tournaments that you've been playing in. What's been your favorite victory to now?
Um, Probably my win at Forsyth in North Carolina.
Okay, that was at the
It
Peggy Kirk, or was that another
it
one?
was a CGA, the
Oh yeah,
girls championship for
yes,
CGA.
yes,
It
CGA.
it was a blast. That course is probably one of my favorite courses I've ever played. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
A little hilly. Number
Okay.
9 is straight uphill,
Okay.
but it's really pretty out there. And it was my biggest win I've
Okay.
had, and that started me off. And it just kept I just learned to keep my cool and just have fun with the
Mm,
game. And I remember there's some college coaches watching me, and I drove my ball in the bunker and I was like, well, Caroline, like
stay cool.
what's going on? And I was like, you know what, we're gonna problem solve here. And I just really managed that course well, and my course management was really well that tournament. And my driver and my irons weren't the best they've ever been. It was really my short game.
Hmm.
And just knowing like that even when I'm not on my best, I can still shoot a good score and put up a win.
That's good. That's good. CGA is a really good tour between South Carolina and North Carolina that you can
Yes.
run into
Yes.
some good competition. Right.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there was some good girls in there, and it felt good to win that tournament for sure, for sure.
That's right. That's right. Now, what's your lowest tournament round ever?
My lowest tournament round is 66. It was at Pine Needles in Pinehurst.
Okay. Okay.
I think I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
It was the PKB championship. It was the one I won. I shot 74 the first day, 69 the second day,
Uh-huh.
and 66. And I shot my lowest score 69 that second day, and I was like, oh my gosh, like tomorrow we're gonna go hit it harder.
Right.
And I ended up shooting 66, and it felt really, really good. And then I also shot 66 in the region tournament this year for high
That's
school,
cool. Nice.
um at Chester Country Club.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was super nice. Like it gives you like a sense of like I can do this. So it was exciting.
That's good. 66 is going pretty low. John, he had the qualifier at Hartsfield,
Oh,
and he was at 5 under through
oh
10
wow.
holes. And they
Good
ran
for him.
into some slow pairings in front of him, and it kind of slowed him down a little
Yeah.
bit. He,
Yeah,
you know,
you
on the
gotta
back
keep yourself
nine,
like occupied.
yeah,
You
on the
almost,
back nine, he had to try to hold it together, you know.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, when you get to
he did
slow
okay.
when you get to slow play, like
Yeah,
definitely don't go on the tee box. Don't have your club in your hand because you're just gonna keep thinking about the shot more and more and more. So keep
right.
yourself occupied and talk to the people you're playing with and just have fun with it. Because if you're on the tee box with your club waiting for 5 minutes, you're gonna think about it too much.
That's right. That's right. So let me ask you this before we get into a few more questions. Knowing what you know now, because you've had 10, 11 years of experience, maybe a little bit more, what would you say to junior golfers to help their journey be a little smoother?
So definitely when I was younger, I didn't always like to listen to my dad. Um, so
Hold
I
on.
would definitely, and I mean, me and my dad sometimes still butt heads a little bit, but I mean,
Yeah,
that's father-daughter
yeah,
relationship right there. But definitely listen to your mom or dad, whoever's helping you, because they see things that you don't always see. And even if they don't know ton about golf,
yeah.
they can still help you and help you figure out things. They can text
You
your
don't say,
coach.
huh?
But definitely listen to them because I've learned in the past couple of years when I've matured a little more,
Mhm.
that listening to your parents, it's probably the best option for you because they know they've had years of experience of
Right.
not just golf, but like things in
Right.
life.
Yeah.
And it really helped me grow and take my short game to the next level.
Right.
Um so definitely listening to your parents would be the main one I would have to say.
Junior golfers, if you are listening to Carolyn, please take her advice. What she just said is so important. I mean, it'll save you tons of headaches down the road. So that's great. Now, who's some of your favorite LPGA players?
Okay, so I definitely have to say Nelly Porter, not just because she's like a good golfer, but like
Yeah.
she has a sense of style and she just seems like a fun person. And Lexi Thompson too.
Yeah, Lexi.
Um,
Yeah, her last name is
she
Thompson, so we,
yes,
yeah.
Lexi Thompson.
And I've always been a big Puma guy, so
Yeah.
right.
But like I've watched a couple of her swings and like her swing is a little weird. Like she jumps in her driver swing,
Yeah,
but
yeah. You notice that?
um yeah, but I mean, I do that too, and I think a lot of people do. And it's just like, she's a really cool person, been playing a long time, and I think she's just like a fun person. And actually my old golf coach, Caitlin Dambaugh,
Okay,
had played a couple rounds and began to be good friends with her, and she said wonderful things about her. And it just like made me think like her even more. So
that's good. Now, do you have any favorite PGA players?
definitely Brooks Koepka
Looks kind
and
of
Phil
okay, good. Looks is
and
good. Yeah.
Phil Mickelson.
Okay, you
I
like
really
Phil?
like Phil
Good.
Mickelson
Well, yeah.
because my dad would always show me his short game videos, and
Short game
those
is
have
lights out.
definitely helped me learn some new shots, learn the
Right.
basics. Like when I first started golf, he would show me one like every week and I'd be like, okay, dad. But definitely just getting to like know different types of shots and watch his short game has really helped. So
That's
he's
good.
also a really good player. So
He is, no doubt. Now, when did you start beating dad?
ooh. Um so my dad actually hasn't played in like 2 years because
Oh.
since I'm traveling a lot,
Oh yeah,
he kind of stopped.
that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Ever since I started traveling a lot, he's
Right.
not played as much. And then he also had some back issues. But
Okay.
probably when I turned 12, me and
Yeah.
him were going head to head, and
Right.
sometimes on his Saturday rounds with the guys, I'll go and join him and I'll kick the guys' butts, and it was
That's
just
right.
super fun. And it was just like a fun experience because
They win some skins.
yes. But it'd be so fun, and
That's
just
good.
like having that little like back and forth with my dad or my dad's friends because I grew up around them too. So
That's right.
it's
And they want to,
um
and I'm gonna tell you, they want to see you make it too. So
yeah.
that's right.
Yes.
Now, what's in the bag? What do you? What are
Okay,
your kind of
so
sticks you got?
I had to write this down
Oh, you did?
actually because my clubs are at the golf course and I was like, like I don't really pay attention to this stuff, but
Right.
I had to ask my dad about this. But my driver is a P&G 425,
Okay.
and then my wedges are Ping Glide Pro wedges. So
Okay.
those are the newest in my bag because they're like there's I think steel shaft or something in between. They're like a really flexible steel.
Right.
And then my putter is the Ping Sigma 2 scoping putter
Okay.
that can like go up and down. And I've had that thing, oh gosh, 4 years now. I love it. It's like I have
Can't
to
take that
have
away
it.
from you, right?
I have to have it. It's my lucky charm. I
You don't want to
love
sell.
it
You don't
so
want to
much.
sell it for $100.
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm. I'm not gonna sell that thing. I'm gonna keep
Right.
that thing for forever.
Right.
But and then I use my grip has changed a lot because on my putter it's sweat and all of that using it a lot. But I use the Super Stroke Pistol GT 1.0 grip. My dad texted me all of this, and then I use the Golf Pride Tour Velvet for my irons and my driver and woods and stuff.
Good. So, and now, what's the strangest thing you have in the bag? Like a good luck charm or good luck marker or tea or
So I have my very first ball marker. I have a little blinged out ball marker that
oh,
sits in my second pocket. I
okay.
bring it to every tournament. I make sure I put it in every bag. I do not use it. It's the ugliest thing out there. It's so
Right.
ugly.
Right.
But I always have it. And then I also have one that has a cross on it because I'm a Christian, and
Right.
I went to a tournament. I can't remember whose mom gave it to me.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna carry this with me wherever I go for each tournament, and I make sure I always have that one in my bag. Um, so those are the two things that it's definitely my ball marks. And then on my hat, which I always play with, I always play with my white Titleist
That's your favorite?
ball marker. That's
Okay.
my favorite. That's my other lucky charm. It's ball marks.
Okay.
But those are the two things that I already three things that I have that are ball marks. And then probably last, I have a lot of like lucky charms that I have to have.
Yeah, in your
But
bag.
it's a Lime rod, and
Oh,
it's a Gamecocks one that my coach Caitlin Danball gave me.
okay.
And I have it duct taped because I've broken it from like doing drills and trying to. I
And
put it like in front of
you
me on the
still holding on
range.
to that thing?
I duct taped it and everything, and I was like, I'm keeping this in my bag. But
All right, be careful. That thing will put splinters in your hand.
yeah. Yeah, I made my dad duct tape and I was like, Dad, I can't get rid of this. Like, no. But I always have it in my bag whenever I play.
Good. Now, what's your dream foursome? If you could pick 3 other players to play with, who would you want to play with?
So a lot of people expect me to like pick like a bunch of famous people, but I would definitely have my best friend Olivia Pellerin.
Okay.
She plays golf as well. She lives in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
And then my good friend Jensen Castle at Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
And
Jensen.
then I think
I got to get
this
Jensen on the
person-
podcast, so you got to look that up. Okay.
Yes, I will definitely tell her
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
And then John Daly, I think he is hilarious, and it would just be like so fun just like talk to him.
Yeah.
And because he reminds me of one of my dad's friends, like not as crazy, but
Yeah, I was gonna
just
say
growing
some
up.
crazy. He might say some crazy stuff though.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
But I mean, he just seems like such a fun character, and like I don't know, just like being able to relax. 'Cause I feel like if I played with like one of the real professional like pro people that are right now, I feel like all the time to be like, Caroline, don't mess up. But I know like he probably doesn't care. Like
Right.
he's just out there playing golf and having fun.
Right. And drinking beers and smoking cigarettes.
Yes.
Now, what are some of your favorite courses? And it could be a dream course. It could be a course that you played. What are favorite courses out there?
So definitely Forsyth Country Club. Like I said earlier, I really like that course.
That's in North Carolina, right?
Sir?
It's in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in northern North Carolina. I can't remember
Okay.
what. I think it's
Okay.
in Raleigh or something. I can't
Raleigh.
remember.
Okay. Okay.
And then Harbor Town, where they play the Junior
Oh
Heritage.
yeah.
Even though we played there in the pouring rain and it being like 40 degrees, it was such a pretty course. And I was so excited that I got to play that course. And then Congaree Golf Club, that course is gorgeous. That is
It's
definitely my
tight.
top
It's
one.
tight. It's tight all
It
around.
it's tight, but I mean, it's so pretty. There's
Yeah.
no houses around it, so you see a bunch of nature
Yeah.
and it's pretty flat. It's pretty flat. There's a
Natural.
bunch of water, but I mean, it's just a pretty golf course in general. And being knowing like they play tour events here and like it's just makes it even better. And everybody there is so nice
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. They take good care of you there. And you
Mhm.
mentioned Harbor Town. I think when y'all were in Hilton Head, John was at Fripp. And so we had Fripp Island. It was 40 degrees. It was raining. I mean,
It was storming,
it was
windy.
windy. Oh yeah.
It's
It was a hot mess. It
Yeah,
wasn't
I didn't play
pretty.
the Heritage this year because I injured my finger. I like tore a tendon,
Okay.
so I wasn't able to play golf for a good bit.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm not going to start out with a big tournament the first time I go back. Like I'm going to take it slow and steady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the first year I played in it, it was miserable. Number 18, my golf cart kept flipping over, and I was like, Dad, you gotta come hold it. Like all my
Right.
stuff was soaked. I couldn't even see the hole. I was like, just get this over with, Caroline.
Right.
But it's such a pretty course, and everybody there is also really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They take good care of you out there. So in a few years, well, actually in about a year or two, the recruiting trail is going to start. What would be your dream school?
So, definitely it would be Clemson
Okay.
or in the area, because I want to go on the agriculture side
Okay.
for college. And currently one of the majors, somewhat the path I'm looking at is wildlife and fishery biology right
Mhm.
now, which Clemson has a really good program for that. And I have a couple friends on that team and they love it there.
Okay, good.
And my sister, she's about to head to college, so we're like
Okay.
looking at different colleges, and we went down there and we looked at the campus. And it's not in the city,
Mhm.
but it's like kind of in the city. And I really like the area, and everybody there is really nice too. My
Good.
grandpa lives 30 minutes away,
Okay, yeah,
and
family.
I really like the area. It's close to home. So
Now, are y'all Gamecock fans or y'all Tiger fans?
I'm a Clemson fan.
Okay.
My mom's a Carolina fan. My sister's a
Gamecocks.
Carolina fan
Okay,
because my mom attended Carolina.
that's right. Yeah,
My dad does not care. He's
you
from
don't care. You
Indiana.
don't care either
He's
way.
a Hoosier. Like he does not care.
Right.
He's like, wherever you want to go, I
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
But um,
Now, does your sister play?
my sister does not play.
She doesn't
She
play.
does dance. She
Oh yeah.
actually hates golf. She hates coming to my
Hates golf.
tournament. She loves watching me play, but she
Right.
hates being outside and like watching my tournaments
Oh yeah.
sometimes.
That
She
sounds like
hates winning.
that sounds like
Like,
Don's sister. She doesn't like outside. She's a
yeah.
cheerleader. She's a dancer.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
sister's all into that beauty guru. She wants to
Oh,
be a cosmetologist,
okay.
so
Okay.
she loves like makeup and dressing up and having fun, like that stuff, but she does not like golf.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha. Now, before we finish up, is dad or mom close by?
I can get my dad. Let me
Okay.
text him real
That's
quick.
okay. That's good. Yeah, see if we can get dad on real quick. I want to ask him a couple questions and then we'll wrap up. But man, this has been a great. Got Caroline Hawkins out of Columbia, South Carolina, top 5 junior golfer, doing some big things. And so when's your next tournament?
So my next tournament is in Evans, Georgia. I can hear my dad running
Okay,
up the
good,
stairs. But my
Is that
next
an
tournament
AJ?
in Evans, it's an AJGA.
AJ.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I cannot remember the name of the course. It's something really weird. Oh, he's listening to the.
Yeah, I think it may come to me by the time we finish, but I think I'm familiar with the course. Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. Listen, thank you for letting Caroline do this podcast. And I just had a question or two. We have a lot of parents that listen to the podcast, and I know it's been an incredible journey that y'all are on, and great experience for the parents to be able to watch their daughter play. What's it been like? Talk, tell us what it's been like, and what you love about the journey, and give us some feedback.
Well, it the emotions are all over the place, but
Yeah.
the number one is it's just a privilege to be able to watch her play
Yes.
and watch her grow.
Mhm.
And I think back to that little girl that picked up that little club and couldn't hit it past her shadow, to now I can't keep up with her anymore. She's got me.
I know my son started beating me about 3 years ago.
Yeah, we were supposed to play for $20 from the same tees when we could. That's not happening. I spent enough on her game.
Right.
Now, look, it's just really good to watch him grow. There's life lessons from this. It's not just golf. I've always tried to impress upon her, you got to prepare to win. You have to have that will to prepare. It's not, it's not a will to win. Everybody wants to win, but you have the will. Your goals and your work ethic have to be lined up.
Mhm.
And that's not just a golf thing. That's a life thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because, we all get told at some point we can't play the kids game. That may be after a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
For me, it was right after high school, so I had to make my living another way. So, when that day comes, then, but you can take those lessons, you can take this game with you for the rest of your life. And it's a privilege, and I just sit back and make sure she does what she's supposed to do, get her to tournaments. I'm the financier, the taxi, the payer,
Exactly. The
dad
is you.
and I do a lot of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes every now and then,
And listen, I understand, and I'm going through the same thing with my son, and I just we're part. The junior golf dads is a fraternity. We all go through the same stuff. We want them to play good all the time, but of course it's golf, so it's not going to happen. What advice do you have for parents that the kids may be struggling a little bit, and what kind of advice would you give them to kind of back off a little bit and not be so tough on the kids?
Well, that's very delicate. I think you have to identify what they're struggling with.
Yes.
Give them a little bit of space, and then sit down with them and let them know, okay, you can get there. You can do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But you've got to do A, B, and C, and you got to do it well. And you got to do it well every day, the best you can, in order to overcome that. You're going to struggle. And a lot of times the struggle is the launching pad for success.
Yeah.
So every time you hit a bad shot, but you're getting closer and you're closer, and you do a little better, it's coming. But you just have to have that work ethic and stay at it, and realize that this game, when you win 10% of your golf tournaments, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It is hard.
It's hard.
It's very hard. So just ride the highs, survive the lows, and just stay at it, enjoy the walk, and smell the roses. It's just golf.
That's right.
It's just
golf. I call golf mean, because golf can be mean sometimes,
It is. I heard it put, you got to practice like it means everything, and then play like you don't care.
Right.
And I don't know how you do that.
It's tough because, what I found out with my son, he can go out and have a bad round one, right? But he'll get to round two and he's like, Dad, I don't care. I had a bad round one. And he'll shoot 70, 71, 72 on day two. And so one of the things that he's got to do is he's just got to go out there, like you said, don't really care the first round, You
just have to relax.
Yeah.
You have to, I've always told her, look, when you start out with a bad round in a tournament, okay. And you maybe kind of shot yourself out of it, on the first day. You can't win it the first day, but you can lose it.
Right.
I said, the best thing that you could do for yourself, and I think to show what kind of player you are, is to pretend you're on a golf team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because the second day, your score could count for a golf team where it didn't the first day.
Right.
And go out there and put a score up and just pretend you're on a golf team. I got a score for my team.
Right.
And just get in the habit of doing that, because one day you will be on a golf team at a school.
Yes.
And maybe day one you're on the 5-score-4 and you're the worst score that day, but the next day you come charging back.
Right.
Well, if you're pouting and moaning and groaning, you're not going to help your team. So
That's right.
use that as a mental catalyst to get yourself up over the hump and just prove to the world I can bounce back.
That's great. But listen, thank you for that advice. And again, hey, good luck on the journey. We're on the same journey. You know, John's he's a rising junior, and I know
Yeah.
Caroline is a rising sophomore, so they're kind of right there neck and neck.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I know we'll probably be seeing y'all at some of the tournaments as well.
Yeah.
We look forward to it.
Good. So Caroline, before we go, how can our listeners follow you on social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook? How can our listeners follow you?
My Instagram, hold on, let me look at it.
Okay. Because you know that's a big one. That's one that some of the
Right.
a coach might see you, or
Right.
I'm hoping they'll pass the high school NIL law soon, so that way we can
Yes.
get some help, Dad.
My Instagram is Caroline Hawkins Golf, and that's where I post like about my tournaments and my stories, like how I'm doing sometimes, or I'll post like other people like congratulations, but I'll post like updates and like wins and how I did in a tournament.
Good.
So Caroline Hawkins Golf on Instagram.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, thank y'all so much for doing the podcast, being our guest, and the best of luck this summer. Big summer,
Yes.
play like you don't really care, right? But practice hard, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And we'll see y'all out on the course. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank y'all.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Golf Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or on any of our social media networks. See you next week for a new episode